Are you an expat in other country? Have you ever experienced the feeling of culture shock when you arrive in the other country or where you're living right now? So this is me, Yanna Tarzhanna, and welcome to my channel. So in today's video, I am going to share to you my experience or my culture shock experience here in Malaysia. So I was arrived here in Malaysia last 2016, and yes, it's a bit new for me because even though I am from Asia as well, I am from Philippines, but there's some culture here in Malaysia that different from my country. So that's what we're going to discuss today. So without further ado, let's start. So the first thing that I noticed when I arrived here in Malaysia, when I entered in our apartment, I saw something in the toilet that I really don't know. I mean, I never seen that in Philippines, in our toilet in Philippines. I never seen something like that. So we call it hose here in Malaysia. I'm not sure what is the specific name, but that's a hose. Yes, actually that's designed for cleaning your backside when you're in the toilet. So yes, that's really surprising me because I only seen that here in Malaysia. The second culture shock that I experienced here in Malaysia is when I went to the supermarket. In Philippines, when you go to supermarket like SM City or SM Supermart, the plastic bag are free, right? So when you're here in Malaysia, you need to pay for the plastic bag. You need to pay 20 cents for that. So there's no free in the supermarket. And if you don't want to pay the plastic bag, you should bring your own bags to carry or to put all your groceries to, so that you can save money. And the third culture shock that I experienced here in Malaysia, when you go to like food chains, or if you want to buy something in the like McDonald's or KFC, you cannot say take out. Unlike in Philippines, when we go to the McDonald's, when we buy something and we want to eat outside, we usually say, pwede bang i-take out na lang to? Or ano? Or i-take out na lang po? Parang ganon. So here in Malaysia, you cannot say take out. Because when you say take out, it refers to a person. So when you say take out, it's something like, what? You take me out? Or you bring me out? Something like that. So when you say, I want to take out food, so they say take away food. So that's very easy for them to understand when you say take away. So yes, that's the third culture shock that I experienced here in Malaysia. The fourth culture shock, actually it's not really, I consider it a culture shock as well because of course I was living in Manila for 2 years, and I experienced when I went to my daughter's school. It's not that far away from our home. I think it's only 3.5 kilometers from our home, but I traveled 1 hour or more to go there. And like here, her school is far away. I think it's 7 kilometers from our house, but I traveled just for 15 minutes. So I think, yes, I think it's a big adjustment as well, because the traffic here is a bit flowy compared to congestive traffic in Philippines. So yes, I think that it's a cultural shock as well. Fourth thing, or five culture shock that I experienced here in Malaysia is there's a free bus. When you're around in KL, there's a free bus. You can ride on the bus for free just around KL. Of course, when you go outside the KL, it's you need to pay. But just around KL, they designed a free bus just for the tourists, because there's so many tourists here in KL as well. There's so many tourists here in Malaysia. So I think that free bus is designed for the KL for the sightseeing. Yes, and ride around KL so they can see a beautiful beauty of Kuala Lumpur. And the five culture shock that I experienced here, and this is really funny because, to be honest, when I arrived here in Malaysia, I don't know where can I buy pork, because you know, in Philippines or in other country or in Singapore, you can buy pork together with the other meat. But here in Malaysia, it's separated. So yes, that's a big culture shock for me, because I have no idea that they separate pork to the other meat, because of course Malaysia is a Muslim country, and they separate the halal to non-halal. So I understand now. I really understand the culture now. So I know where to go if I buy pork now. So yes, that's a big culture shock for me here when I arrived in Malaysia. And the other culture shock as well for me is a public holiday. Of course, I really notice it because I have a daughter, went to school. So if there's a public holiday, of course, there's no class. So in 1 year, I think there's a 30 to 40. I'm not really sure, but there's so many public holiday in just 1 year. And I understand why there's so many public holiday because Malaysia is a multicultural country. So they follow every culture. They follow Indian holiday, Chinese holiday, and Malay holiday. So yes, if you put it all together, it's almost 30 plus holiday in a year. So for the student, of course, they love it. But for us as a mother, I prefer my student or I prefer my daughter to be at school all the time. But yes, what we can do, that's a culture here. And the other culture shock that I experience here in Malaysia are the weather. Yes, the weather here I really love a lot. As I always tell to my other or to my previous videos that the weather is one of my favorite because here in Malaysia you cannot get any natural disaster. I mean, you're free for that. There's no typhoon, there's no earthquake, there's no tsunami, or there's no disasters. But there's one thing that's really, it's a quite dangerous, not really bad, but it's alarming sometimes when it's rain. Then that lightning is really bad. It's a really dangerous here in Malaysia. The lightning is really, we take it seriously. So if there's a heavy rain and there's a bad lightning, so you better stay at home because it's you don't know, there's so many people hit by the lightning here already in Malaysia, and so you better be safe when you see a lightning when you're outside. Don't go under the tree. You better go inside a shade or inside a building. So don't go out or stay under the tree because it's really dangerous. And the other culture shock that I experience here in Malaysia are the electricity. Here in Malaysia, you barely experience the brownout, or there's no brownout at all. I am living here in Malaysia for 4 years now and I never experienced a brownout. Nothing. But when I am in Philippines, oh my God, our electricity is just like a Christmas lights. On and off, on and off. Every day is almost brownout. But here, there's no brownout. And the electricity here, it's very surprising as well because when you pay the bill is so cheap. Compared to the bill in Philippines. So our electricity here is really cheap compared to our electricity in Philippines. And there's no brownout. I never experienced for 4 years here in Malaysia. I never experienced a brownout at all. And this is the last but not the least culture shock that I really surprised. As I said, I'm already 4 years living here in Malaysia and I am living in a condo. So it's supposed to be, when you're living in a condo, of course, we have some neighborhoods. So if we have neighborhood, we have so many friends, right? It's supposed to be work like that. In Philippines, it work like that. If you have some neighborhood close to your house, you will become friends. But here in Malaysia, no, don't expect that. Don't expect that your neighborhood will talk to you. Don't expect that your neighborhood will knock your door and give you something or something like that. So here in Malaysia, your neighborhood is a stranger. So you don't know anybody around you. In my neighborhood, I never seen them for 4 years, to be honest. I don't know. I know that there's some people there because I saw sometimes that there's a laundry outside their balcony. But I never saw anyone there yet. So I never saw, every time I go out to my door, I never seen anybody. So it's very quiet. I think their culture is to have privacy. So I really respect that. But I mean, if I compare it to Philippines, we're not work like that, right? We are very approachable, friendly people. Filipino are very friendly. So, yung mga neighbor mo, puro mo kakikilala, puro mo mga friends, kahit na malayo pa yung bahay nila, as long na nasa isang barangay o isang town kayo, halos magkakilala kayo. Unlike here in Malaysia, no, it's never worked like that. So that's really a big culture shock for me. So yes, that's the list of the things that it's really shocking me here when I move here in Malaysia. So I don't know to the other people, I don't know to the other expat if they experience this, but that's based on my experience only, and that's what I noticed when I moved here in Malaysia. So thank you guys so much. I hope you learned something, and I hope you it will help you when you move here in Malaysia. You already knows what things that you expect. So I hope this video can help you as well to adjust. And yeah, so thank you to all those of my subscribers and my followers. Thank you all so much. And shout out to Rizal Bandala. Thank you for always supporting my channel. Thank you, Rizal Bandala, and to the rest of your family. Shout out to you all. And yes, that's all for today, and hope to see you next time to my next video. Bye everyone.